the story of Zacchaeus may have sung it as a child in Sunday school. Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he. Climbed up in a sycamore tree for the Lord he wanted to see. Remember that song, singing it in Bible school and Sunday schools through the years? But there's a thought about this man that many times we look at this story, we read where he came and he was looking for Jesus. But there's more to this if we get into it just a little bit. Now, this man, Zacchaeus, however you want to pronounce it, he was a publican. He was a tax collector. He wasn't a very popular man. And we live in a time where I don't know of anybody that likes to pay taxes. If you are, you're a unique individual. I certainly don't. I pay my share. Sometimes I feel like I pay more than my share. Like a lot of the other folks, you feel like maybe you got folks wasting your money in Washington and Frankfurt, places where they don't really seem to know the value of a dollar. But come certain times of the year, you got to pay taxes on what you own, and every time you go and transact business, you have to pay tax. But Zacchaeus was a man that said he was chief among the publicans being the tax collectors, and it says he was rich. He was a rich man. And you know, many times in this world, being rich is something that a lot of folks, they don't like rich folks a lot of times. A lot of folks resent rich people. You know, I thank the Lord that there's rich people in the world. A lot of rich people provide a lot of other folks jobs. A lot of rich folks do a lot of good things for people. A lot of times there's abuse there. I know that. And they looked upon this man, especially in this day and this time, a tax collector that was rich was not a very popular man. But this man was a guy that he had a whole lot of things, but there was something that was missing in his life. And that was a relationship with a man named Jesus. There was something that was truly missing. He seemed to, in the eyes of a lot of people, sometimes I hear people say, boy, if I just had this amount of money, if I just win this, if I just got all of this, if I just hit the sweepstakes, the jackpot, whatever it was, I'd have things made, wouldn't I? Well, not always. You can have all the money, the possessions, and the things of this world and be the most miserable person on the planet. I've seen folks like that. I've seen folks that absolutely teetotal. Their life was misery. They were the most unhappy people in the world. And if you sat down and did all of the figuring out, they would be worth over $1 million. And could probably produce that in just a short amount of time in U.S. currency. Lay it out on the table. But not very happy. And no contentment in their hearts. But I want to look here just a little bit. We know that Zacchaeus was a man that came and he was looking for Jesus, but there was more to this. And we're going to get into it here. You'll look at Luke chapter 19. Luke chapter 19. And we're going to read at verse number 1. And I want to take a thought just a little bit of seeking out a Zacchaeus. Seeking out Zacchaeus. Chapter 19, verse 1 says this, and Jesus entered and passed through Jericho, and behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans, and he was rich. And he sought to see Jesus, who he was, and could not for the press, because he was little of stature. He's a little man. And he ran before and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and he saw him, and he said unto him, Zacchaeus, make haste, come down, for today I must abide at thy house. And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be guest with a man that is a sinner. He wasn't happy. And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord, Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor, and if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. And Jesus said unto him, This day is salvation come to this house, for so much as he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which was lost. I want to take a thought of seeking out a Zacchaeus. Now we know that Zacchaeus was, the word says here that he was a rich man, a wealthy man, he was a publican, a tax collector, and he said that he heard that Jesus was coming his way. And he said he was a man of small stature, short, kind of like Willie back there. Willie could be our Zacchaeus. But he came and he said he wanted to see Jesus, and there was a crowd and it was coming, and he climbed up in a tree, a sycamore tree, to see Jesus as he was to pass that way. Now he made sure that he got in a location. I can just imagine this. I've been in a few crowds and places where I tried to see somebody, and all of a sudden it would be so deep, and I'm average height, tall enough that I could stand on my tiptoes most of the time. If I'm not standing behind somebody about the size of Larry Taylor, I can see around. But I can imagine this small man saying, I want to see this man named Jesus, because he knew there was something that Jesus had that he needed. And he climbed up in a tree. He said, I can imagine him saying, I can see him for sure right here. I'll get to where I can lay my eyes upon him. And here was the miraculous thing that occurred. Jesus came through there, and he stopped, and he looked up, and he saw this man, and he called him out by name. Who? He said, Zacchaeus, make haste. He said, hurry up, buddy. What are you doing? Basically, come down, for today I am going to your house. Can you imagine this man who had gone, as a man of small stature, a man that wasn't very popular in the community? He had taken money from the people. He had collected. He was a wealthy man. And he had come and climbed up in a tree, and the first thing Jesus, the man that he wanted to see, stopped and said, hey, buddy. Called him by his name and said, come down out of that tree, because I'm a-heading to your house. Now here's where the folks began to murmur and to complain just a little bit. Said he came down, he was joyful, he was happy. He came down and received him joyfully. But then there was some self-righteous, religious folks standing over on the side who looked